All right. So, as I mentioned in my previous video, at the end of my previous video, I just want to talk about a couple of clues or evidence from outside of the actual Stranger Things show that tie into my theory or support my theory of all of season 5 taking place in Vecna's dreamscape. So, sleep tight, Hawkins. A very eerie advertisement for a Netflix house that they posted, I think, about, I don't know, a week or two ago. I think you can still check it out on their Instagram page, at least I'm pretty sure. And this is a video where they talk about how the part of the experience is when you go to the Netflix house in the Stranger Things section is a some sort of a sleep experiment. I don't exactly know what it is because I don't have a chance to go to this Netflix house, but um, the um, um, the video is about or is they say it's a lost footage and now recovered footage from Hawkins lab, and then weirdly they talk about how they want to invite you to a sleep study, and then they say welcome to Sleep Tight Hawkins. Sleep tight. Like I've been saying over the past couple of videos that I think there are I'm not gonna, like, if you've seen the previous videos, I don't want to like bore you and repeat what I think about there being three levels of reality in season 5 Stranger Things. But what I do want to talk about is that because I believe that the season 5, what we see in season 5, takes place in a dreamscape created by Vecna, while the actual physical bodies of the characters are in a trance. I mean, that would very much align with this campaign that Netflix is doing, this marketing campaign, where they specifically came up with this idea of a sleep study that Hawkins Lab did. I mean, that's also like not really the profile of Hawkins Lab. Like they experiment on much more like dangerous and weird stuff. I think this advertisement is telling us perhaps that, yeah, the physical bodies of the Hawkins residents are in a sort of a trance, maybe in a kind of like a sleep state, and they are um, in a dream reality in season 5, a very realistic one. But I mean, check this out. It's a very creepy and very well done video, even just for its marketing value. I think it's super fun. But I think it has um, a deeper meaning. And this comment here reads, all of Hawkins sleeping tight? How strange. And the Netflix house answered, stranger things than that have happened in Hawkins. Hmm. Yeah, true. But, that's interesting. Anyways, I'm going to talk about one of the songs that they chose for a main trailer. I think it was for part 1 of season 5. That song actually never made it into the show. I think it will in season 6. But it's a very particular song that they chose that when I first watched the trailer, I didn't understand. That was before I actually saw um, the specific episodes that it was meant to refer to. But it's a Queen song, and the beginning of the song, like the first couple of lines, they read, "There's no time for us. There's no place for us. What is this thing that builds our dreams, yet slips them away from us? Who wants to live forever? Who wants to live forever? There's no chance for us. It's all decided for us. This world has only one sweet moment set aside for us." So I didn't understand this for a while, but my theory is that if I'm right, that all of season 5 takes place in Vecna's dreamscape, that would mean that Vecna is in control of everyone in Hawkins, of what they think, what they feel, what they consider reality. And there's literally no time and no place where the characters can escape to. Well, there is, but they don't know about it, right? Like it's Vecna is completely in control of them. And I think it's Papa who says in season 4 that Vecna is the kind of villain that wants to control all of you. It's not exactly the words he uses, but it's like he says like he wants to control, or if he achieves his plans, he will control who you are and who you ever will be. I think those are his words, who you ever will be. If they are trapped in Vecna's dreamscape in season 5, there's no time for us, right? There's no time even in um, when Max is walking around in his supposed memories, right? Or in his memories, there's no time in terms of like when a memory takes place that he can run to where Vecna is not in control. There's no place for them, right? Um, Wherever they go within this dreamscape, Vecna is in control. And then the next line, what is this thing that builds our dreams, yet slips them away from us? What is this thing? What's it? What's it that builds our dreams? That's what I'm thinking. That's why I think that this song from the official trailer, I think for part one, but there's a YouTube link and I'm also gonna add it in the comment section so that you can check it out. But you can also look for it on YouTube. Um, what do you mean, like, what is this thing that builds our dreams? I think it means, again, that they are in Vecna's dreamscape. I keep referring to it as dreamscape because it seems all right on the face of it until you start looking at particular clues and evidence that something is really off, and much more on that later on in the next videos. But yet slips them away from us. So it's like they are in a dream. This is how I'm interpreting it. They are in a dream world created by Vecna. Um, but it's not their dreams. Someone is slipping their actual dreams, their actual life away from them. And then there's no chance for us. It's all decided for us. Yeah, I mean, if Vecna is completely in control because they are in his dream world, then there's really no chance for them. And it's very interesting because I think especially Will says this several times, and it's also highlighted in, I think, the same trailer that we never stood a chance. We failed. That's highlighted several times in the trailer. I think for part one at least. I'm gonna have to check part two trailer, part three. But essentially, yeah, there was no chance for them. They lost at the end of season four, and season six will have to be about them realizing that. And so many more clues I will have for you in the next videos to show that it's all a dreamscape, and season six has to be about them escaping and really taking the long way. And you're gonna know what I mean in a future video to defeat Vecna, or at least to stop him. And then there is this other tidbit. So after the last episode streamed on Netflix, if you typed, and if you still type Stranger Things into Google, I'm sure many of you have come across this. At the bottom of the screen appears a Dungeons and Dragons dice, and it doesn't matter how many times you click on it, it will always throw one. It will always be one, and then your screen will split the way Hawkins splits at the end of season four, and then your screen will turn upside down. Many of you may have come across this. I find this very interesting that this is something that is still on. It's almost as if with the end of season five, we're not done with the upside down yet, and not just in terms of like there being the Tales of 85, etc. Like, it's almost as if the kids lost. It's almost as if the upside down took Hawkins, the right side of Hawkins, over, and it's not over yet. Especially with, like every time clicking on the dice, you get one. I mean, one is one. One is Henry, right? And then another extra tidbit. I think, like, when I look at these are the two images on the left. They are posters from Stranger Things 4 and Stranger Things 5. Promotional posters. A couple of things here. Firstly, if you look at the mid picture, Vecna is in the sky. All of the sky is red above Hawkins. Hawkins has been split. Like the splits in the ground, they are like spreading everywhere. And this is what Nancy saw in her vision, right? Like, they don't stop growing. They spread everywhere. These splits in the ground. I can't recall a better word right now. We don't see Hawkins this way in season 5, do we? Hawkins, like, it seems that in Hawkins they patched the splits up, and people are actually like children are sliding down on it. So it's weird that here we see this is Hawkins. This is not the upside down, but the splits are everywhere, fire is everywhere, and Vecna is sort of lording over the entire town. And I also like the way they sort of represent Vecna as part of the sky, as this sort of like god figure who is looking down upon Hawkins. I mean, it's mentioned in the series, especially I think in season 5, that he has a god complex. I mean, Vecna does. And to me, here he seems kind of like a malignant god who is sort of looking at the whole town, seeing everything and seeing everyone, and deciding everything. And also, seeing everything. In season 4, upon rewatching it, I realized that he tells Max as he's about to kill her before Al intervenes, as he tries to kill her for the first time. Second, because the first one is the running up that hill scene where she escapes. But the second time they are in the ballroom, and Vecna actually says, "I see everything," and then he shows Max, or is it to Al later on? I don't know, but he shows one of them how he sees Robin and Nancy and Steve actually going up to the attic. They're almost where his actual physical body is in the upside down, and he's letting them. He sees them. He sees what's happening to Eddie being eaten alive by the Demobets, although more on that later. He sees everything. Like, and then this poster in the middle, for me, it's like it represents that all-seeing, almighty aspect of him, which if season 5 is really, as I believe, a dreamscape created by Vecna, that he is essentially ruling over, then this image I think is very telling, presenting him as a sort of god from the sky presiding over Hawkins. And then if I look at this image, and then also the one on the left, where again, like he sees everything, like his eyes are there, sort of like showing that, yeah, he sees everything. It reminds me of Big Brother. Big Brother who sees everything in 1984, right? A tyrant that you cannot escape from, that is everywhere, that sees whatever you do, wherever you go. And if the characters are in a dreamscape in season 5, Vecna can see them whenever he wants to and what they do. And that is extremely terrifying because the characters, we're going to talk about this later on, might suspect that something is wrong now and then, but they don't know. Actually, we're going to talk about this later on, but Will says something to Joyce at one point where he's talking about something else, but he's essentially talking about his experience. I don't remember about what, but it's being like it was like a nightmare, or it was like a dream that you couldn't wake up from, but it was very realistic. And I think that's the writers telling us that it's season 5, very realistic, very convincing. But Wagner is there. It's Vecna pulling the strings. Anyways, it's just my association that I see a Big Brother type of thing going on here. Okay, so I'm gonna have a lot of clues that I'm gonna discuss in the next videos, going episode by episode through season 4 and 5. Especially, of course, season 5, starting with season 5 and giving you clues as to why I think that it's a dreamscape, that something is off. Of course, all throughout, I just, and those videos are gonna come in the next couple of days, next week or so. What I want to highlight is I talk a lot about Vecna, but ultimately, as you can see on this poster that was posted now on July the 15th for the 10th anniversary of Netflix first airing or streaming Stranger Things, the Mind Flayer is behind it all, I think. So there is this scene where Henry says, or whatever, in the last episode of season 5, that the Mind Flayer needs him and that Henry, chose to ally himself with the Mind Flayer. But ultimately, and Vecna slash Harry is really, I cannot emphasize this enough. We know he's a psychopathic killer, and I know there are all these jokes around, of course, about not minding if Mr. Abducts you because he's such a like dreamy fellow as regards his voice and the way he looks, and that's, Jamie Campbell Bower just being really very good looking and having a beautiful voice, and so on and so forth. But even if there's some human deep inside Vecna, we're gonna talk about that later on. He's long gone. He's gone completely mental. We know that, and he's really very very like he's psychotic. He's sadistic. He's also misogynistic. I'm gonna talk about it later on, but um, ultimately, I think about it all is the Mind Flayer, and I think visually that's what Netflix is telling us with this 10th anniversary poster. Um, because if you look at the Mind Flayer, you can see him ultimately being um, sort of like the orchestrator of everything, being on top, and that's going to be very interesting in the coming season, or the films that are coming. I hope it's an entire season. That um, that like it's going to be interesting to see to what extent is Henry slash one slash what's it slash Vecna is in control, and where he begins and where or where he ends and where the Mind Flayer begins, right? And what's his relationship with the Mind Flayer exactly. So yeah, so just one thing that I quickly wanted, like it's a fun tidbit that I wanted to quickly discuss. I'm gonna, as I said, I'm gonna later on talk about how Mike is a spy and builder against his will for Vecna in season 5. I'm going to talk about how he is a storyteller, right? From season 1 onwards, he's the dungeon master. He's a very skilled storyteller, and Vecna always taps into people for their abilities. We know that he uses them for their abilities, and I think that Vecna uses Mike as a builder of the dream world that he's creating, but more on that later. But Mike being under Vecna's influence, I mean, look at this. This was posted by Netflix House yesterday, or the day before. With there's Mike here and a dice, and on like the top of the dice where we reckon it has rolled, it says 1, and it's directly above Mike. 1 Mike, Mike 1. Interesting. Okay, so more about Mike later on. In the next videos, first, before I talk about Mike, the Mind Flayer in more detail, and Vecna, I'm gonna really give you episode by episode clues starting from season 5. That all of season 5 is a dreamscape created by Vecna. I still don't know why exactly that is part of his plan, apart from maybe the fact that he likes to be in control and he's a manipulative bitch. um but yeah, expect more videos in the next couple of days, next week or two. Hopefully someone will see this, and yeah, let me know your views on the videos so far. If you think this is an absolutely crazy theory, what you think about the clues that I've provided so far. And at this point, I just want to highlight that I think it makes sense that there are people who think that Conformity Gate is you know not up their alley, not their cup of tea, but just always be respectful as conformity gators. We just really enjoy a good story well told. We've been told that there are no coincidences by Lucas and in season 5, and it's such a detail-oriented show, whether you agree with it or not. Once you start looking into the details, it's really hard to resist the idea, once you really look at all the evidence, all the clues, that not just that Vecna is still winning by the end of season 5, but also that there's more to come. I understand if you don't want to, care about this too much, or if you don't have the time, just always, be respectful. And if you disagree with anything, just, point to specific facts and clues and, disprove evidence, right? As opposed to just saying it's stupid or whatever, because it might be, but it's still a lot of fun. So just stay always respectful. And next videos to come soon on clues from season 5 for all of season 5 of Stranger Things being or taking place in Vecna's dreamscape. All right, Stranger Things to come in the next video.